to the phase 2 contract. So, I don't know how y'all feel about
I
liquidated
think
damages.
you have to send it that way. We need to bring up the importance of the schedule. He might say, well, then I'm not gonna sign the contract, well, then we need to talk to you. Because we absolutely have to have this done before the snow flies, or, before the weather changes. It's a material change in his understanding of it. He would be perfectly within his rights to say that affects my proposal. It's a material change, but I think it's an issue that we need to talk about. Now, it really is, but it could delay getting the glue lamps ordered.
So do we need to put it in the notice to proceed, or is this more appropriate in a contract discussion?
I think it's more appropriate in the contract discussion.
That's what I think, and I'd also like to have this, I don't wanna create any, I'd like to have a very frank, recorded conversation with him about our expectations of schedule during that time and about that subject. Cause if we decide not to do liquidated damages, then I just want him to know that we are trusting, we're having faith that you are gonna perform, because we are not only risking, the roofing contractor getting to do his work before the snow flies, we're also risking all the investment that we made in phase 1. If we don't have a roof on that southern third, it's just a huge risk for the county.
No, that's agreed. Yeah.
So,
I
and
agree with
I don't think you have to have a big stick, so which,
I think with him you need a big stick.
okay.
But
Let's do it in the contract discussion.
yeah, let's do it in
and
the
not
contract
notice.
discussion, and then it has to do with manpower. If he understands that if he's slipping, the question is, do you have the ability to get more resources?
Okay,
So,
so we'll use the notice to proceed that doesn't have that,
and the only reason I think it's such a big issue, Teresa, is because the man hours that I show in this project are a lot.
right.
And I don't know how he's gonna get it done in 6 weeks. So, yeah.
Thank you, guys. So this means we have a contractor for our roof and a contractor for phase 2, and we're done hiring people.
So we can wait.
If when we actually get to
If
the
we get our
contract.
contracts in place. Ifs and
Yeah.
buts. But,
And
so,
see,
to me, this is like.
just so you know, the reason I'm coming up with this is field man hours based on my estimate, which is so close to his estimate, says you're gonna have 3,300 man hours.
And how many people was that for a 6-week job?
Well, what it is it's 80 work days. It's 116 calendar days, it's 16 weeks, it's 3.8 months. So it's
For 4 people?
for 5.25 people. And so if he's, this is just me, now this isn't all critical path, I need to narrow down how many of those 3,300 hours are not on the critical path. But I doubt I'm gonna whittle it down to where I get down to 6 weeks. And so my detailed analysis of the field man hours says, I don't see how you're gonna get done. But if you put 10 people on, you'll get done.
Yeah.
If you put 5
And
people
he
on, you
says he's
won't.
all about, and he probably knows that, he's gonna have to rent a crane, he's gonna have to have a crane over.
Well, and he might have picked those 6 weeks because he knows that's what the time frame is to get the roof on. He needs to be done to get the roof going. So if we have an understanding with him that he's gonna put whatever manpower he needs, we need to have this discussion with him.
Okay, so I'll have him come in for the contract signing next week.
There you go.
Very good.
Tuesday.
And, no, the contract will be Friday,
Friday.
cause
Okay.
it's, we tabled it today.
It was only half on
It's half on the table and half off. It fell in the waste bucket
A
today.
wheel in the ditch and a wheel on the
There
track.
we go. Okay, I'll get you.
All right, good. Keep us moving.
Thank you.
We're cutting into Cass.
Notice that Mike Curley asked you over here and he's gone.
What else is new?
That's okay, it's fine.
That's just the way it is,
He's seen you coming.
That's okay.
yeah.
Yeah, we should wait till he gets back.
This is the one that
Well.
replaced the one that was trash.
Okay, is this the original?
Uh-oh. That's the original, because it was
Okay, so
bright
is this the
blue.
one that I need to give to Bonnie?
Yes.
Okay.
So that was voted on last week to be signed Monday if everything matched.
So you keep.
And
So this was voted on, this goes with last week's agenda,
Yeah.
but it wasn't
Yeah.
gonna be signed till Monday.
10, was it 10-3 last week?
Yes.
We could
25.
maybe, what about tomorrow, maybe get some hay?
Sure. Need any help?
We'll have to use your tractor, but I'll probably ruin it. It won't work because of the
Do they need
DEF.
this, does he need, did he already get a copy of this? John Mintock, did he already get a copy of this?
I'll send it to you.
Okay, you'll send it.
Yes, I have
Yeah,
to
I
send,
gotta fix them in
I
the
will.
middle of the morning.
I may
Well,
hand
I
can
deliver,
make
I may
time
make an
for it.
extra
Well,
copy
we'll-
and deliver it to him.
Maybe, let's see how my morning goes, that might be in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And the road should be good, it shouldn't be snowing,
Start raining tomorrow afternoon.
or maybe in the morning.
Evening.
You know what?
At
You gotta,
evening, Sunday.
I got kicked off the agenda.
The other mic?
The other mic?
Marcy's on the phone, you want me to pass her through?
Yes.
We voted.
Hey, you don't have your sling, what happened? You healed.
Oh, you're supposed to be wearing it, but you're just not? At least you're honest.
It's the county commission.
Hi, this is Marcy with Area 2, and I was returning Commissioner Turley's call.
You are, just so you know, we're in meeting and you're on speakerphone.
And being recorded.
Sure. Sure. Is there a time that I needed to come visit? I do have a meeting at our RSVP office between 12 and 1, so I'm not available during that time, but I can come down any other time.
So we want to talk after 3, or what do you want?
I would really like, I would.
Yeah,
really
sometime
like that.
between 2 and 3.
Well, we want to talk when we're adjourned, right?
Yeah, probably. So 3.
Why don't you-
3:30.
Do you want to just give me a call when you're done, and I'll come down?
Maybe
Okay.
send you a text,
Sure, that works.
Okay,
all right? Enough said.
Okay.
Thanks for
Okay.
calling.
Really
Talk to you.
appreciate it.
Thanks.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, Mr. Turley. Bruce is here.
well, we were talking about, well, go ahead.
The ongoing
Yeah.
affairs, rumors, and bullshit, I'll put it real blunt, over the senior center and the senior program has gotten ridiculous.
Yeah.
To me, it's a simple thing to cure. If you don't cure it, that man right there is gonna lose the next election, I'll guarantee you, because there's enough seniors that are pissed off, they're blaming Bob for it, and I don't wanna see that. He's our numbers man here, he knows what's going on, I wanna give him credit for that. But right now, he and the rest of you are getting blamed for stuff that's beyond your control.
Okay,
Well, you have something that is in your control that I think will solve the problems. Take the personalities, throw them out the door.
okay,
Good idea.
There's too many personalities. Number one, take the monies that you would have paid towards the seniors and haven't, and put it towards an audit. Have the dollars and cents on paper, then they're not gonna say that this person stole money, that person stole money. It'll be up, done, and clear, one way or the other.
good.
And that clarifies what you have done and what you would do in the future. If there's no money lost, fine, we'll know it. But there won't be rumors, there won't be any more pointing fingers. I have not talked to the board, I have not talked to Area 2. I'm talking to you fellas to try and solve this to get you out of the mud hole.
Appreciate it. We were just talking about
Yeah.
putting money towards that audit that would go to council in that area too.
Yes.
I would push hard
What an ass, Marcy.
for them not to ask for any back pay, or say, hey, this audit is taking care of all the past, the future is the future.
Just so you know that, that what we need to make everybody understand is, what the audit would do is it would bring this to a head sooner, okay? It would-
Absolutely.
why they refuse to do an audit, you know, I don't understand that, but we'll still get a black eye for it, but it's not our fault they're not doing an audit.
But,
Well,
nobody understands that.
There's a couple of audits that I understand. I understand Area 2's having an audit. How in the hell are they auditing their money that they gave to the seniors and coming out with the true report? They've never been in there.
Yeah.
I was at a meeting where Marcy sent
It's not
her
a,
husband.
what they're doing is not an audit. It's not a formal
It's
audit.
called a review. They're
It's
doing
just a review, that's what's triggered their
Well,
it's not
response to them to say we need an actual.
But they're not saying that to the public, let me tell you. I sat there,
Yeah, I
when
know.
her husband came and blamed everybody but the white man in the crowd for what's going on, and everybody stole this and everybody stole that. We gotta stop
Well,
that.
nobody knows anybody stole anything.
That's exactly right.
But there needs to be an independent audit, and for some reason, the senior center is unwilling to do that.
I don't believe that. I believe if the monies were funded, if there's county money there, there's state money, and there's federal money, any partner could pay for that audit and have it done, and this stuff here would stop in a heartbeat.
Yeah, but nobody
No,
else other than the
no,
senior
they-
center is obligated to produce that. As part of their conditions with Area 2 Agency on Aging, they need to satisfy that.
Now, let me tell you the rest of that story.
Okay,
At that meeting I sat at, Marcy's husband ran the show for Area 2. He was their spokesman. I doubt like hell any of you'd had somebody else speak for you. I'd be very surprised. But the man, he stood right there and says, "You won't let us look at the records." And one of the people that's on the board says, "You have no right to look at the record, Area 2 does." And he said, "Well, you won't let us take the records up to the office." He said, "You goddamn right we won't, they're gonna stay in this office. You don't take our records out of this building.
Bobby
You
did
can
it.
come, you can audit them, you can look at everything we have, put it on a big table, we have no problem. You ask us for something, we'll give it to you, but it's not leaving the building." That's how that was brought up.
how are they gonna work with an independent auditor? They're telling them that they can't leave the room.
They can't take their records out of the building? They can
I've never
come
heard
out
of
of,
such a thing. I've never
I've
heard
never
of
heard of
such a
such a crazy thing either.
But-
Well, but Bobby,
But
I
that's-
heard his response to that fellow, and all it was that he went around and around in a circle, and he would not answer the question. He would never say we're gonna do an audit or not.
they're,
Says this has nothing to do with me because I'm just now I was recently appointed or voted to be on the board, and I don't know anything about any of this. And he never, ever said yes or no to complying with Area 2's request to have an audit completed.
there was no,
He wouldn't do it.
that was because I think that they wanted to take the records out and get them out of there, and they were afraid the records wouldn't come back.
Or they might be edited or something.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So that's why you need a certified independent auditor.
Yeah.
Bring somebody in
Which-
that has no connection.
Yeah,
Right.
And that's exactly what Area 2 has provided them with.
I don't believe that.
well,
They
had-
did, oh, we saw the letter.
Well, and the other thing too is there was an auditor that's doing the homes on the range, it's independent, that was
Right.
recommended to do the audit for Muscle Shell Council, and they turned him down,
Turned them down.
told him that.
There-
So, but let's get back to what you're talking about. We're not obligated to pay for that audit. I don't think anybody's gonna understand that, but that's the absolute truth. But even if we do pay for it, and let's say that it is a favorable audit, that they can justify the expense, it might show that they're spending more than they're taking in, and it's bad management, but they can take actions to remedy that and all that. That still doesn't mean that Area 2 Agency on Agency wants to work with that board anymore. They don't have to. And that's out of our control.
Right.
We can try and help bring it to a head, but it would be an absolute gift. We're not obligated to do it, and the only thing I'm hesitant about, if it turns out sour, we'll get blamed for it.
Well,
We're being-
you're blamed for it right now.
Well, that's a good thing.
And if you have the audit done and it shows that, then there's things that you can have done to take care of that. But if not,
But you understand, even if it's a favorable audit, they have, the relation, that board has, not just with Marcy, there's other board members that have issues with that board. They don't feel that they wanna cooperate. And that's the board, that's their problem, that's their fault. It's because they got defiant, they felt like they didn't have to say anything, they didn't have to prove their numbers or anything.
They sit over there every meal and they run around from table to table and they spread rumors that are not true.
I have
That's
not
what
heard
Bobby-
any of that since Marcy's husband came and I eat
But-
their
but you
office.
realize
I
that-
know that's what Bobby's doing.
The Area 2 Agency on Agency Board does, even if they have a clean audit, are not obligated to contract with them. They're not obligated to do it. And I don't know why they would, given the, excuse my language, the shit show that's occurred between both boards.
It's between both parties. You guys are in the middle.
I know,
and
but you
you're
realize
taking-
that that board, that Area 2 Agency on Agency, worked with Muscle Shell Council on Agency for 23 years without an issue.
And when did the issue come about? What were the changes? What's caused,
Tracy Moody.
what's caused 18 people to leave Area 2 in the last 2 years? If that ain't an issue, I'll tell you, something's wrong.
Well,
And I've
Marcy,
seen
but
letters,
Marcy has worked with Area 2 for 20-some years.
but there are issues that can be dealt with if the funds are saying, hey, this is square. There's no money stolen, it was spent for groceries, the money came in, it went out here. End of story.
Bruce, there's another issue here though. If we can give them, they've got an $80,000, it's about an $85,000 budget. That's what Area 2 gives them. We only provide another 15, so it doesn't matter whether we could give them 15 and they'll be out of it within 2 months, they'll be gone. So our money doesn't amount to anything really, it's just a token, just to make them feel good.
I
It's
believe that.
really with Area 2, they're the ones that are controlling the funding.
And they're also the ones that are pointing the finger saying Tracy Moody stole money. In writing.
Really?
Yes, sir.
I haven't seen
Well,
that.
see,
The letter.
I don't think they said that, but I think they said there's discrepancies that
Yeah.
that need to be resolved by an independent auditor.
I have not seen
And
it.
anybody that
If
lends
you could
grant
get that
money,
letter to us, that'd be very helpful.
you know, grants are not guaranteed. If, what did we go through with what happened with Tammy Allen's grant?
What?
They weren't gonna give us the grant because our books were screwed up, and they were screwed up.
They were.
And they said, we're not giving you any more money till you clean your books
Yes,
up. We didn't say, we're not gonna do this, we're not gonna, and start bad mouthing them, we cleaned our books up.
I'll probably be the thorn in the wall to both parties, and I don't give a damn, it needs stopped.
Well, I
For the
appreciate
betterment of
that.
our community
Yeah.
and our county.
Well, I think there's maybe some goodwill to us doing that, and there may be some wisdom to doing it, but everybody's gotta understand, one, we don't have to, and two, even if we do, it may not solve the problem.
That's very possible. But there's a
We-
better
the
chance it will.
Relationship between what's going on in the state and that, and here in town, that's between our boards, and it's become a problem, and we're nothing to do with that.
But the public's not thinking that.
Yeah, that's what's so, you know why the public's not thinking that?
That's,
Because that board over there, run by Bobby Goffney, is telling them the opposite. They're
So-
telling them it's our fault.
So you put the numbers on paper, and the numbers come out square, what's he gonna tell them then?
Yeah. Oh, he'll think of something.
Well,
Well,
gotta be
they're gonna
hard.
say, see, we were being discriminated against and we were fine all along.
There's only one way to clean it up, and
Well, you gotta have an audit, you gotta have an independent audit regardless. What
Well,
that does between the rest of it, but I think there may be some value to that.
It's not a money thing. It is a decision on their part. That's what's happened here.
well, I think it's on all parts, but
Well, yeah, but if you were a member of a board that was giving somebody grant money, and they were fighting you over everything, would you wanna work with them, or would you wanna work with a board that doesn't fight with you?
I guess it depends if they were accusing me of things like I have heard of. And the accusing and the dollars,
Okay.
put them on top of the table. Hey, the checks and balances.
But you realize this all started with seniors coming and complaining to Area 2 agency about the quality of the food, the quantity of the food, the disruption of services, the running off of employees. There's been a lot of stuff
We had
going
groups,
on.
I know
we
it's
had
gone
groups
both
of
ways.
seniors come in here and explain that to us.
Yeah.
It's gone
About
both
that
ways.
board.
So this isn't because the Area 2 agency of agency all of a sudden decided that they were gonna pick on
Mm-mm.
Russell Council on Aging.
No,
No, this has been ongoing for quite some time.
but we keep all of that separate, we get the numbers on the table.
You're right, let's
And
try
it's
and get,
done.
let's try and be as factual, but I'm telling you, you can have the facts, and this is what I think the facts are gonna show. That there was no impropriety, but that they were spending more than they were taking.
Right, that's what I'm saying, is you still have a solution, and if it's just incompetence on the board's part and they're spending way more money.
Well, it does give it gives Area 2 agency an excuse to say, you obviously don't know how to manage your funds, and we can't continue to give you a grant. That's the whole point of the grant, is they can't, under good conscience and be fiscally responsible, if they think that their money is not being,
If it's not being spent in the right places. they
or it's
have-
gonna be, they're investing it in an organization that's gonna go bankrupt.
But a straight audit would take care of that and clear the table. You'd at least have a point to start from.
So it's payment for the audits,
And it-
everything else.
it
They
would-
would think they have the money.
So if we could get the auditor to get Homes of the Range and we would pay for it, you think that would be a real positive?
I do.
Okay.
Well, let's ask Marcy, if the money we're giving Area 2, can we go to an audit?
Well, I think,
That way
I think the
Area 2
money we're giving Marcy is going to help support them maintaining services.
Well, they use it for a match for the grant, but, well, let's find out. And then she can say Area 2 is paying for the audit. Not us.
Okay. One way or another, I think we can see that an audit gets paid for if you guys agree.
Yeah, well, let's look into it.
Do we need to talk about it? or-
We need to get all that auditor that did the.
I don't have a clue who did it, and don't care, he's gotta be independent to be in here doing it.
Of course.
And that's the best way to solve any problem head on.
Well, I appreciate your concern and you're trying to
It's a lot
resolve
of
it.
cost these days.
I do think that it's
A little
lingered
bit.
enough now
Depends
that
how many hours they put in.
it needs to be brought to a
Yeah.
head one way
It's
or
all
another.
hours.
Yes. Now I got questions on this other,
Okay, what's the other?
on the Pro Revenue Act.
Okay.
We've heard of that.
You've read it once or twice. The way I read this, the state and the county are the ones that are losing the money. The state does, or the feds don't lose any of their money.
Yeah, the feds move it too.
Where?
Okay, so the way that it gets distributed is the gross sales of the federal coal, they get deductions for taxes paid. That balance gets taxed at 7%. So that 7%'s value gets split, 51% goes to the federal government, 49 goes to the state. The state splits its share, 75% state, 25% Muscle County.
Okay.
So the federal government will lose over half of that money.
But they're not gonna lose the whole whack.
No, the state and the county.
Who authorized,
They'll lose their 51% of that.
That whole 7% will be private.
so this is a pretty valuable thing to the producer.
Well,
If there's no taxes paid,
well, apparently he's gotta pay the Hope family now what he would have stayed.
That whole 7% will go to the whole family.
Yeah,
there,
And
there
they,
is no,
they'll pay state taxes on it, and probably federal
it
taxes.
says no state tax right in here. Shall not be
that's the
subject to
Crow, that's the Crow
taxation
tribe. So
by the
when,
state.
so when the Crow tribe receives its share from the Hope family, it won't be taxed by the state.
But as I'm
Yeah,
reading and studying this, that's not really the case. This money goes to the Hope family, the
Right.
Hope Trust. And it's up to them how much they want to give the
Yeah.
tribe.
true.
So
They could say, I'm gonna give you $1.
they're, so who really owns those minerals? The Hope family.
Right.
Yes,
They own them.
and they're gonna do this, you heard well, you weren't there. We went and talked to Signal Peak Community Foundation and just got our, you know what, handed to us. But, okay, keep going, I don't wanna interrupt you.
The other thing that I realized by studying this thing
Yeah.
is it talks about surface land in the Bull Mountains. Well, how much of the surface land is it gonna be? Is it just the state, or is it all of the surface land above the valley?
940 acres are gonna be owned by the whole
940
family.
But it doesn't specify that in, section 3, clause 3.
Well, it says that the
It's-
whole family needs to enter an arrangement with the Crow tribe for any subsurface and surface developed in Muscle County.
It's been revised, your bill has been revised.
I just read the 25 one this morning.
It should have been,
This is the way it is, from what was presented, and I think the damn thing's gonna go through next Wednesday.
it's not the same one I've written. The one I've read, it
Well, what do
specifically
you-
has those,
Would you base
because they're two different tracks.
Well, the other thing that, if that land is conveyed to the Crow tribe, is that gonna be tribal land in the Bull Mountains that'll never be taxed again?
Yeah.
Doesn't say anything about that, does it?
Well, it just says that if the Crow own it, then it's not taxed, it's not subject to taxes.
So it's not really 100% clear there how much we're losing for eternity over not being able to tax that land. And I still think there's a question about how many acres it is, just as loosely as this is written.
Yeah.
And that is a big concern. The county losing their 12.3% of it, fine. That's gonna be gone if they pass this bill on next Wednesday.
Yeah.
We won't have a hell of a
That's what,
say
that's
about
what
it.
we're complaining about.
The only ones that get a bigger share of the pot out of this baby is the Hope family.
Right, you
And
noticed that.
they are a large conglomerate out of Baltimore, Maryland. She is an artist. He has land developments around the country, a huge one in California right now, that's selling for high dollar land. I have no idea what the benefit to Signal Peak is. We have federal coal being leased all over the United States today, and the rest of them aren't wanting to transfer it. What the hell's the deal?
Well, the whole thing that Signal Peak wants out of it is that if that becomes private coal, that means the federal government can't take any action, any legislative, judicial, or regulatory action for the mining of it. And like in the Biden administration, they were trying to shut them down.
Right.
So they're saying, get it into the private hands, and then we'll have what they're calling greater operational certainty, which means continued mining operations, which means continued jobs, means continued other coal revenue, coal gross proceeds. So there's a benefit to everybody. The only problem is, we're giving up a substantial portion of our revenue to make it happen. The mine's not giving up anything to make it happen.
The right that gives him the transfer this from federal to Crow, it states in there that if it's in the best public interest, who the hell's the public? I sent it to Mike and the two Mikes this morning.
Yeah.
That's what gives them the authority to transfer their lease. If it's in the best public interest, who the hell's the public?
Whole family.
The Crow. Well, and then, so Dane's representative talked about this a little bit at the watershed meeting, yesterday.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of talk about the Crow and Fort Belknap water project. And she kind of mumbled something about how, oh, it'd be beneficial for Marshall County jobs, blah, 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 something like that. Basically, and I
I
kind
didn't
of,
understand all that at all.
no, and I just wanted to stop her and be like, no, so break down for
Tori
me
and-
how this is beneficial for Muscle Show County.
Tori and Quentin were on Zoom meeting.
Because she was talking about having jobs, I'm sure, but as far as the county's concerned, jobs, if people, if there's jobs at the mine, most of those people are shopping in Billings anyway. A lot of them are living in Billings.
Mhm.
So in what way is the continued operation of the mine really that beneficial besides the tax to the county?
Well, it's a lot of money. So we get a lot of money in coal gross proceeds.
Right.
So that mine continuing to operate is critical for us.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that the difference in this, versus how it was before.
Well, yeah, we're all we're saying is,